Hello and welcome to Alex Koma's World, episode 3. So it's been a while since I created a new episode, and I think this fact helped me to see the cycles that I've been going through in the past 2 months, and it inspired this episode. So I've been taking time to go outside, take advantage of the warm summer days to go swim, and I've been taking time to bike and do other stuff and gave myself permission to do other stuff that's not related with my art career, and it has been very insightful for me to penetrate through this cycle that I've been put through, and that I think a few of us who will be watching this have also been through, which is a cycle I would call the pleasure pain perversion. And I would compare it to a stormy atmosphere on Earth where the sun, which represents our rational mind, heats up the ocean into soggy clouds, these clouds symbolizing our emotions. And when they are overcast by our fear, we feel less and less joy in what we do, until the worries from our fears rains down in a storm, temporarily draining the clouds of our unconscious emotions. And then the sun comes out again, and then we see beauty again, and we start again to be active in our careers. But I think what I came to see is that we can avoid this up and down if we stop putting our attention all on this external sun and we focus on our internal suns. The truth is that no pleasure can be felt without our sensual body. For even mental pleasure, which is also called satisfaction, can't be felt without these senses. But the trick to keep the satisfaction stable is to shift our perspective. All of us are born of suns and are made of light, but we seek not light, for that would be like a fish swimming in the ocean looking for water. Knowing that inner sun of pleasure, called beauty, is always within us, whether we see it or not, helps us to remember that we are beauty who came to be human, and human is a spiritual experiment in pleasure. So all this to say that I went through a very fiery phase in the beginning of the pandemic, which was like March, April. I was very active online, posting a lot, very active in creating new art, but I omitted to look at my own emotions, and it finally evaporated. These emotions evaporated to block the sun until I had to face them, and led me to take this long break. But finally I've come back after a few weeks, and I can now see more clearly in it. And strangely enough, during this break I learned that my rising sun is Cancer, which is the most watery of the astrological signs, and found that it was very important for me to pay attention to my watery emotions in order to keep my Aries fire active and live out my passions through my art. So I leave you on this to think about how you've been living through this pandemic. Have you, like me, been through these phases of sunshine where you're very active and focused, only to end up slowing down as the waters evaporate to form clouds, and to finally block the sun and experience a thunderstorm of emotions, only to once again start a new cycle over and over? So I think it's important to think on that during this crisis, which is all new to us, and to try to stabilize this so that we don't experience as much pain, and we can continue on with our lives like before. So that's it for this topic. I wanted to also share with you guys what I have done during these 2 last months, because I have worked a little bit, but a bit slower. So here is what I have done. So finally I got my gesso. It had been 3 weeks that I was waiting for it. All the mail got delayed, so I finally could pursue this big tapestry that you saw in episode 2. So I was applying transparent gesso to the linen to paint over it in a transparent layer and give the illusion that the solar flares are actually going above and in this empty space. So here is finally the result that took me so long to do, but I'm quite satisfied with how it turned out. So let me know in the comments what you think. And then here is the painting you also saw me doing in episode 2. Now I'm tracing the outline of the main lines of the landscape to help me paint them in an accurate manner. And finally, this is what it ended up doing. I didn't want to film the whole process because I needed time to just paint on my own without being watched in some ways. So here I'm just adding some fluffiness to the clouds by adding some highlights and making everything perfect before passing to the second painting, which you'll see in episode 4 probably, which is going to be depicting water, the element of water. And here you see me doing the final little bushes in the landscape, which you see here more properly. You can see more about my tapestry painting on CBC Art's website, where there was a little 3-minute interview describing it. And so that's it for this week's episode. Thank you for tuning in and have a magical rest of your day.